Well, it's Tuesday, and you all know what that means. As you know, NXT will have their 2 week show, Revenge. As you're probably wondering, what the hell is Revenge? Well, it's simple. Now, as you know, recently we had Stand and Deliver. Well, certain wrestlers will finally get a bit of measure of payback or retribution, however it went down after Stand and Deliver. But for today, it features, of course, the NXT World Title. Tony D'Angelo, as you know, has a axe to grind with Ethan Page. Lola Vice puts her NXT Women's title on the line against the person she beat her for this belt. So that's going to be a lot of fun and a lot of things chaotic it's going to happen, and I can't wait to do this because for today it's only a one review episode, and I thought, you know what, I just focus on this one instead. I might do that for the next week, but who knows. But for now, we'll leave like that. But as always, we'll wrap up our episode as usual with some news updates to give you guys updates what's been happening in the world of wrestling, such as what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of the Lead It Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Lead It Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK. In the world of wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information is unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got to Nagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us and click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or nice comments in the description down below. Now, enough with the jibber jabbers, let's get to it. So, as I said, is our only review for today, plus the news updates. So let's begin with NXT Revenge. NXT Revenge. This is week 1 of a 2-week event that will be taking place on NXT. Now, for those who don't know what this is about, well, some people will get a bit of retribution, payback, to what happened recently. It could date back, who knows. Now, I'll explain a little bit about that. Our first match is Jada Parker and Kelani Jordan. Now, obviously, we know what's been going on with these two. These two have been going back and forth, back and forth. Now, of course, Jada Parker, as you know, we all have been trying to see her trying to come up with the, get up to the ladder on her own terms. But however, Kelani Jordan, as you know, she felt like respect was not given to her rather than earning it. So you can tell how this was going to go. But Jada Parker did everything humanly possible to dismantle her. But what no one expected, of course, is the exposed turnbuckle when she attempted to splat Kelani Jordan into it without the safety of it. But apparently that kind of got her badly to Jada Parker, and then of course the one of a kind spike moonsault, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, Kelani Jordan picked up the win. Now, Charlotte Hill, who knows what goes on in that crazy, sadistic mind of his whenever he laughs, doing something. And then, of course, Ricky Saints, well, he got into his face, telling him that he's building something for Tatum Paxley. But however, of course, Ethan Page decided to get into his face, after what happened, and all this other stuff, but unbeknownst to them, Charlotte Hill heard the whole thing because it seems like they had something planned for the NXT title match. Now, Joe Hendry, as you know, people have been questioning what's next for him now that he lost the NXT title, so he decided to throw in a concert and gave his little explanation. But however, the concert was interrupted by Keanu Carver, who, as you know, once again, going out of his way, not caring in the world what goes on because he wants what he deserves. And that is, of course, to be at the top of the mountain. And that's always been the case right there for him. Now, Tony D'Angelo put out a video promo. He kind of said, talk about the ruler and all that. And then he talked about Ethan Page, how he was annoying. So you can tell how that's going to be. Now, Lola Vice had a surprise visit from, of course, her fellow Latina. We're talking about Stephanie Vakir, who congratulated her for winning the NXT Women's title. So, as you know, they're both happy where they're at right now. And Lola even told her good luck on her upcoming first WrestleMania title defense. So, that's a good thing to see. Now, on to our next match. This one is a debut of Callie Armstrong from Evolve. So it seems that she is no longer part of the promotion of that brand anymore, taking on Skylar Ray. And of course, Callie Armstrong, is telling the world who exactly she is. I mean, she was dominant as the first ever Evolved Women's Champion. But now the real question is, can she bring that same kind of energy into NXT? Well, she did it when she applied the Cali Connection, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it's over. Now, in Mr. Stone's office, well, once again, the babies started to cry too much. Blake Monroe still wants a piece of Tatum Paxley, and of course, the Vanity Project are there. But apparently, Mr. Stone said that she'll give her NXT Women's North American title match again, but under her stipulation. Now, they were not okay with it, but apparently Mr. Stone told, look, it's either that or nothing. And of course, it's still unclear what she was, but I'll get to that in a bit. Now, on to our NXT title match. Well, as you know, Ethan Page is determined to defeat Tony D'Angelo by any means necessary, and that's exactly what he tried to do. Even Saints got himself involved. But, however, someone grabbed his foot and dragged him under the ring. We had no idea who it was until, of course, it was Charlotte Hill. He overheard the whole thing and grabbed him with that sadistic, like, have you ever seen one of those scary movies, of course, where you're trying to hold on to someone like, no, like Jason Voorhees or whatever. That's that kind of moment, it kind of went into that, with Charlotte Hill's sadistic laugh, But, of course, this match ended with a dead to rights by Tony D'Angelo, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, he retained the belt. So, I'm very happy for that, but I can't get over for what happened. But, in the aftermath of the match, well, Ricky Saints, as you know, was not happy that he got, of course, tied down and dragged out by Charlotte Hill, so he's looking for him, and then he had tools with him, like, very sadistic and that sort of thing. So, you probably can guess how that's going to be. I thought it was just way too funny. Now, Miles Bourne, as you know, made his way to the ring, talk about how he took down one of the pillars of the black and gold era of NXT, of course, Johnny Wrestling and all that. And then, of course, he had to talk about Dion Lennox, who attacked him viciously at Stand and Deliver. And now things are going on. But he told him all you have to do was ask. But, of course, Shaquam decided to go beeline against Miles Bourne. Dion Lennox like, what the hell? But now we're seeing, of course, a bit of a, a dissension between, of course, Dark State. So we'll see how that rolls. Now, our next match is a speed tournament. Now, remember, Ilya LaFleur had to relinquish the belt for being injured. So we did have Lexis King won his match but this time it's between EK Prosper and Dorian Van Dux. And this was a pretty good match. I mean, it was very interesting, but of course in a good pace. But unfortunately, EK Prosper was able to pick up the win with a moonsault. 1, 2, 3. It was over. Excuse me. And of course, we did see in the post match, Birthright, more specifically, Lexus King telling him, "This is my match. I'm taking that belt anyway." So that kind of sets it up right there. Now, of course, Kiana Carver got into Mr. Stone's office. Let's just say, as you know, his usual rants about what he wants. So, now, of course, Mr. Stone, as always, who is trying to keep the chaos, as Shawn Michael requested to do, he went looking for Tatum Paxley, who was up high, just thinking. So basically, the stipulation was still unclear until Shell Hill had presented it, and it was a casket match. Yeah, I don't know what Blake Monroe would think, or the Vanity Project, so that's going to be very interesting to see. Now, our main event is the NXT Women's Championship. Jay-Z Jane once again gets her belt. Now, she claims that, okay, Lola Vice, it's over. That belt is coming to me, and I'm going to restore order back to the locker room. Well, you can say that because, people say lightning strikes twice, but it doesn't. But Lola Vice, I have to say, she put up a hell of a fight. But, however, there was that moment where Laney Reed sucker punched her, and that would have given enough time for Jay-Z Jane to apply the rolling encore, but somehow Lola Vice averted it and applied the back fist. Unbeknownst to the Fatal Influence, it was over. 1, 2, 3. Just like that. They didn't even realize what just happened. So it was surprising. However, while Lola Vice, as you know, is celebrating, there's blood in the water, and if you guys know what I'm talking about, the sharks began to show up. First, it was Callie Armstrong, Kendall Gray, Izzy Dane, and Zarya. But however, Zarya was sneaked attacked by Soruka, who next week will be in a last woman standing match. So the real question now in the NXT Women's Division, who's going to be the first to take on, of course, Lola Vice? We'll just have to wait and see, maybe next week or whatever Mr. Stone decides to do. So we'll see how things happen. But for now, we are officially done with NXT and everything else. Let's do our last thing, which is, of course, to wrap up this episode, news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news updates. Now, let's begin with upcoming events. Now, I do have the card for both shows from, of course, Marvelous. Now, as you all know, this coming Thursday, they will be in Las Vegas. This is the card for this particular event. Spark Rush will be taking on Miyu Momono and Johnny Robbie. Senka Akatsuki versus Aja Kong. Haozan taking on Miko Alana. Ichika Miyabi taking on Amari. Sora Ayame taking on Maya World. We have, what's her name? Vinny Masario, Starboy Charlie, Alpha Zoe, and Jaya Jewel taking on GT Thorn, Alan Angels, GAC, and Vishnu Akia, something like that, yeah. And then we have, of course, Gabby Forza, Sweet Caroline, Mighty Myra, and Charity King. Now, this event is the Shooting Star event on the 16th. However, they did by, of course, we do have, of course, the May 5th at the Yokohama Budokan. Scott Lee actually put the full card. This event will happen, of course, on May 5th, which ironically is Cinco de Mayo. Now, we know that the AAW Championship will be aligned to Kumi. Iroha will take on her own tag team partner, Sari. Our tag team titles, Magenta will defend it against Nyla Rose and Nightshade. Then we have the Rin Rin's retirement match where she teams up with Mayu Iwatani, taking on Miyu Momono and Izuki Aoki. Miyu Momono will also be in the match against Stardom's very own Mei Sita. Rina Yamashita, Kayo Nagisha, and Ichika Miyabi and Veni will be taking on Masha Slamovich, Queen Aminata, Jesse Jackson, and Johnny Robbie. Chigusa Nagaya will be teaming up with Aya Housen and Ruka Amahane, I think she's one of the new girls, to take on Aja Khan, Sota Ayame, and Hichiri Saitomi. Excuse me. Then we have, of course, Senka Akatsuki taking on the Pink Striker Miyu Yamashita, which is interesting. Alan Angels and Ray Lynn versus Vinny Mistari and Miko Lana versus Yusuke Santa Maria and Renee Michelle versus Kohei Sato and Sakura Iroda. And then, of course, we have the WWE ID Championship on the line. Starboy Charlie will defend it against Titus Alexander. Now, keep in mind in this particular title match, if Titus Alexander wins, he could get a guaranteed opportunity to go to WWE, and I'm sure that's something that many people would want. So, I can't wait to see that. Now, moving on, we also got the card for the Stardom show that will happen also in Las Vegas, American Dream. Neo Genesis will be in a 6-person tag match. We have Starlight Kid, Azumi, and Mei Sita. They'll take on Chris Statlander and the Babes of Wrath, Willow Nightingale, and of course Harley Cameron. We have Saya Ida will be challenging for the New Japan Strong Women's title against Alex Windsor, so that's going to be awesome. The Cosmic Angels, consisting of Natsupoi and Aya Sakura, they'll be taking on, of course, Saki and Brittany Brooks. Now, keep in mind, Saki is an ally of the Cosmic Angels, but we haven't seen her participate in the events with them for quite some time. Then we have Athena versus Rina. Now, personally, I would like to see Rina call Athena a shitty old hag, because that's what she'll be to her anyway. And then finally, we have an EXV reunion. More specifically, I forgot this. I don't know who. They're going to be taking on, of course, Mi Vida Loca and Azuki. So that's going to be a very fun match to enjoy. So I can't wait to see that. I think there was some changes they had to make due to the fact that 3 couldn't make it. So we'll see where that goes from there. Now, we have GCW's Immortal Clusterfuck. They'll take place on the 18th of April, also in Las Vegas. They just announced the Texas Outlaws. Now, keep in mind, these guys are related to both Dusty and Cody Rhodes. This is Wayne and Wyatt Rhodes. Dusty and Cody Rhodes' nephews, of course. Then we have matches for the upcoming Evolve event. They'll be facing guys from 2AW, another promotion. We have Hiroshi Yamato teaming up with Suwama versus Rinosuke Nagai and Mitsuya Nagai. We have Hayo Ogawa and Shuji Ishikawa will be taking on Kengo Mashimo and Ayumu Honda. Chi-Chi versus Chika versus Mio Shirai. Zones versus Yuka Satsuki. And Soy versus Yame Sazamuru. So that's going to be fun. And then finally we have the Orange Volume 1, the Octopus, on the 29th of June. They just announced the GCW World title will be on the line. The Amazing Red will be involved against Charles Mason. He's replacing Ryan Clancy, so that's a real bummer for everyone. And then finally, for our developments, of course, MLW just announced they signed Lissy Almeida as the ring announcer. AW has filed a new trademark called Redemption. So I don't know if that's an upcoming event. So we'll see what happens. So this is very much what's going on. So I think that's pretty much it. So let's just call it a day. Alright, so I hope everybody enjoys this episode. As I said before, we will have week 2 of NXT Revenge next week. So I can't wait to see how that's going to go. I think that one features the last woman standing between Zarya and Solruka, and of course the NXT Women's North American title in a casket match, which is going to be really, really intensified. But we'll see how things roll. But as for our next episode, of course, we will feature AW Dynamite as they enter the fallout after Dynasty. Of course, some title exchanges, titles remain, that sort of thing. So we'll see how things will go. But however, it does feature MJF defending the title against Darby Allin. The TBS Championship will be on the line, I believe. Willow faces Camille and that sort of thing. So we'll see what happens until then. But if there's any other videos any other reviews I might do, let's just hope things go accordingly. But for now, we'll leave things as it is. So until then, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang.